one more Star Wars related topic.
All right.
This one I'm actually really excited to hear your thoughts because I think you'll actually be really excited about this.
Okay.
So it has been announced now that Kevin Feige is now working on a Star Wars project.
This I am excited for, and it makes a lot of sense because Star Wars is part of the Marvel comic book universe.
In a way, it is, yeah. The comic books for Star Wars are definitely are all published by Marvel now, and technically they also were back in like
right because they had a crossover.
No, there was a run though back in I don't remember when.
Dark Horse days?
No, it wasn't Dark Horse. That's what was weird. Is before Dark Horse, there was a period of time where Marvel was publishing
Star Wars originally. Yeah.
So
they like published the Transformers comics and I remember.
So there were a few other things that Marvel was publishing about before Star Wars moved to Dark Horse, and now it's back to Marvel.
Because for a while Dark Horse was like the thing you went to if you were like doing an adaptation or like extended comic from like something that already existed in film.
I used to love reading Star Wars Tales. Star Wars Tales was like one of my favorite comic books as a kid. They were basically Star Wars Legends before Star Wars Legends.
Star Wars Tales were really cool, but I legit actually was in romantic love with the I think the Legacy comics was it what was it called? Star Wars Legacy, the post original trilogy comic book series that followed the Skywalkers and that specifically followed my favorite Dark Jedi and Sith, Darth Krayt, Siddhartha Sadao or something, or something Sadao. I love those. I love those comics so hard. They introduced my favorite, still to this day, my favorite Sith, even over Revan. Revan's my favorite Jedi. Other than maybe Qui-Gon, maybe. But legit, Krayt, best Sith. Period.
Cool. Yeah. So, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige.
And, like, honestly, I'm like, I know a lot of people are kind of theorizing if this is going to be his way of dipping his toe into becoming like more creatively involved with Star Wars in general.
You know what I would love? If he replaced Kathleen Kennedy.
I don't know about replacing, because I really like Kathleen Kennedy.
What if he finally gave Marvel over to a new creative lead and he replaced Kathleen Kennedy?
I like Kathleen Kennedy, so I wouldn't want him to fully replace her.
I would.
But I wouldn't mind him being part of the creative team every once in a while, like having some input.
I'm the reverse. I'm okay with Kathleen Kennedy being part of the creative team. I don't want her in charge.
Okay.
She's made too many bad decisions, and they're like so bad they broke the fan base bad decisions. She has some really cool decisions and a couple really bad ones.
The only thing that I kind of would blame a lot on her and Bob Iger together, the one thing that I will agree that they kind of took away from Star Wars, but I mean it was inevitable once it went to Disney, is Episode 7 is now the last Star Wars movie that we're ever going to see that's going to feel like an event. Because before Episode 7, even when Star Wars movies came out, like in a row for the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, it was every 3 years. And then once Disney took over...
You're talking about the every other year thing.
Yeah.
The fact that I actually totally disagree with this.
To me, the biggest issue was that when they took it and made it so it comes out not only every other year, but then you have a spin-off in between those years, it makes it so it's like you can still go see a Star Wars movie and have fun, but like when it comes out every year, it no longer really feels like that much of an event anymore. It feels like you're just kind of seeing another fun Star Wars movie, which again isn't bad. Like I still am going to watch them. I'm going to enjoy them.
Come out a year.
Exactly. The Marvel movies, with the exception of Endgame, don't actually.
I'll even say Civil War and Avengers.
The Avengers movies,
Ultron.
are kind of the exception-ish.
And the non-Avengers movies, like Civil War is not an Avengers movie.
It didn't feel like an event to me. It just felt like going to see another really good Marvel movie.
Civil War?
Yeah.
Civil War felt like an event to me.
It didn't for me personally.
Dude, I had people literally stand up and clap at parts in the movie. That doesn't happen at regular movies.
It was a great movie. It didn't feel like an event to me.
every Avengers movie feels like an event.
The first Avengers felt like an event. The Infinity
Ultron
War
absolutely felt like an event.
Kind of.
Ultron, we literally go see like the 14 movie lead into it or something? Like we saw like the whole we participated in an actual event for it.
In a way, yeah. It just didn't feel as much of an event as the first Avengers movie, because the first Avengers movie was like this is actually possible. This is coming together. We can actually get this movie we've been wanting since we were like really young. To me anyways. Like, to me, that's why Star Wars always felt like an event, with how few and far in between like we'd get Star Wars movies.
I disagree with
Okay.
I really disagree with this. I think whether or not a movie feels like an event is simply on how well it's made, how well it's advertised, and how well the critical reception is leading into it, because that is what influences how many people show up to it, what the fan base was like both before and afterwards, whether or not it's really open or really closed. The hype train is a really big point to like things feel like an event. Hype train for episode 7, spectacular. Hype train for episode 8, not as spectacular. They did a lot of different stuff with the episode 8 advertising run that felt more like a standard movie and less like an event movie. I really don't think it's the fact that they came out every other year, or that we have multiple Star Wars. You could have a dozen Star Wars movies in a year, and I guarantee you the first time they make a Boba Fett movie, it's going to feel like an event. That you could have a dozen Star Wars movies a year, and when you bring back Obi-Wan Kenobi for a movie, it's going to feel like an event. I completely disagree with the idea that something feeling like an event is because it happens too often. You know what feels like an event every year? The fair. To everyone. No one ever says the fair isn't an event. You know what feels like an event every year? Christmas. Christmas is an event every year. You know how many holidays we have every year? And how they repeat every year? Those are all events. And they happen every year. And they all feel like events. New Year's always feels like an event. This is not a valid argument.
I mean, that's fair. It goes to, no pun intended, because you brought up the fair earlier. But I will say this, though. To me, then, let me rephrase it to saying that in general, yes, I'm sure there's plenty of people who will always see Star Wars movies as an event to them. Just to me, and even then, to an extent, yes, it'll feel like an event to me.
Rogue One kind of felt like an event.
But to me, it doesn't have that same feeling. I don't think I'll ever have that same feeling going into a Star Wars movie as I did with episode 7.
You know, I agree with you. But not because that happens too often. I agree with you because the movies have turned into a pile of garbage. The fan base has turned into a pile of mush. 2 stacks of mashed potatoes, one of which has sweet gravy and one of which has sour gravy. And they hate each other and won't talk to each other anymore. And the community has been divided for so long. It's only now starting to piece itself back together. Episode 8 scared people off. Solo's disappointment scared people off. People got tired of bad Star Wars or subpar Wars. We had a sling of TV shows that were all bad or subpar. Yes,
the
we
shows
did.
Have been good. With the exception of the Lego shows.
Rebels, I'm sorry, Rebels was a disappointment. Rebels had really good moments and was pretty good overall. Rebels was a disappointment. They clearly had budgeting problems with it, production problems. While they brought back the original art style for like the concept art of Star Wars, they lost a lot of the like artistic cohesion. Because of it, they made it way too kid-friendly. Plot got too samey. Every other episode seemed to be they dress as a stormtrooper and infiltrate the stormtroopers and then escape at the last minute. And then Resistance happened, and that was so bad it got canceled.
Not canceled. It's ending.
No, it got canceled. They canceled the fudge
canceled.
Out of it. Yeah.
I just heard it's ending, and it makes sense because it's supposed to be a bridge between episode 8 and 9. I guess it was canceled.
You are definitely wrong. It definitely got canceled.
Okay, I was wrong. I guess Star Wars Resistance was canceled.
Yeah. That, like I said, this is like they've had a slew of things that are so unsuccessful and poorly made that it's not going to feel like an event. Maybe JJ coming back might be able to bring it back, but I haven't seen a hype train building for 9 yet. I've seen hype trains for a lot of other things. I've seen hype trains for Mandalorian. I've seen a much more minor hype train in the like hardcore community about Clone Wars returning. I've seen a little bit of hype, but no hype train for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. But you know what's not getting much hype? Episode 9 doesn't have much hype. It doesn't have like even your average Marvel movie's worth of hype.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. But I do want to say one quick thing. So far with Disney and Star Wars, me personally, I haven't been disappointed by, except for maybe Resistance, and even then I have to at least watch the show before I fully say I was disappointed. But I literally love every Star Wars movie we've gotten from Disney, including Episode 7, 8, Rogue One, and Solo. I love all of them.
I don't love all of them.
And
I hate one of them.
And I really love most of the comic books that we've gotten. I say most of them because there are a few that have been like a little weird and bizarre. But
I've
for
been
the most
really
part,
into the Vader comic. I'm really disappointed with the more recent Kylo comics, though.
Haven't read those yet, but I've read the mainline Star Wars and then some of some of the Vader comics, and those are really good. But with all that being said, I just want to make this clear: if you don't like any of the stuff Disney has done so far with Star Wars, if you don't like The Last Jedi, if you don't like Solo, I love all of you guys, because you know what? We're all part of the same fan base. We all feel so passionately about it.
You guys need to stop shitting on Solo. Stop that. It's a pretty good movie. Stop that.
Yeah, I really
Don't be
enjoy it.
dicks to Solo.
You know what Kevin Feige would be perfect for, actually? One last like Solo type movie without Solo being the main character, but Solo being in it. And this would be the plot. It'd be Solo having a job with a bunch of other bounty hunters that Jabba hires him for. And they have to deliver cargo to Jabba. But Boba Fett, we know, works with the Empire and with Jabba the Hutt, so maybe the Empire is offering him a bigger bargain for what the crate is. So Boba Fett, while the cargo is on the Millennium Falcon, tips off the Empire, and then Han Solo gets boarded and has to drop the cargo.
Except for that
Boom!
happened way, way, way later.
They could age him up and make him look like Harrison Ford.
No, they can't.
They don't have to. I don't care.
I'm sorry. They chose like the one actor that did tryouts that doesn't look like Harrison Ford. I don't understand why they chose.
They could just make it an animated film.
As much as I genuinely really like Solo, their casting choices were awful in that movie. Just across the board.
I will disagree with Chewbacca. The suit actor for Chewbacca is perfect. Like, I feel like suit actors nowadays don't get enough credit.
Yeah, their Chewbacca guy was fantastic.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what?
Amazing.
I was okay with Vision being the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
His part was kind of lamely written, but it was like it was well performed for what it was.
Yeah, no, like he for being such a small part in the movie, he did really good.
And Solo's girlfriend, coolest Solo's girlfriend.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, so I've liked Disney Star Wars so far. It just, to me personally, no longer feels like the event that Episode 7 and that Episode 3 was.